All right, the time is now 12:01, and we do have a quorum. But our first order of business is our chair and vice chair are both absent. So we will need to do a motion to have a temporary chair for this meeting.
I will move to appoint Jason Alberici as today's temporary chair.
Approved. Or a second again? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Good afternoon, and welcome to the September 21st Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting. We'll take a roll here. Stephanie?
Here.
Joey?
Here.
Allison?
Here.
All right. And Scott, Phil, and Morgan unable to be here today. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll get an approval of the meeting agenda. Would like to move up the discussion of under 8A, new business, up under public comment. Let's have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll
The
second
meeting
that.
agenda
The meeting agenda.
Sorry.
as amended.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, are we moving?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're moving
As amended.
8A
Okay.
to public comment under 5. And then next item is to review the meeting notes from the August 17th. And if staff has sent this to us via email, so if everyone's had a chance to review, take a motion to approve the meeting notes.
I move to approve the past meeting minutes.
Second.
Second.
Second by Stephanie, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, public comment, or in this case, discussion of the new outdoor recreational program.
Yeah, we do not have any public comment. So
Excellent. So we'll move to discussion of the new outdoor recreational program.
Jen, do you want to do a quick introduction for us?
it up.
Yep.
Drum roll, please. I would like to invite up Miss Cassie Beach from the Tree of Learning. She is going to educate all of us on a preschool-based outdoor learning program that we would like to bring to Milton. As I'm sure she'll share, it's in a couple other communities, super successful, and I think a great opportunity to get young kids and families in our parks engaged. So, Cassie Beach.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. My name is Cassie Beach. Thanks for that introduction. The Tree of Learning is a 501c3 certified nonprofit. It is the umbrella company to the LEAF program, which is what you see on your screen now. The LEAF program is a pop-up style program that I create experiences for children with a story and a form of movement, which will either be a song, dance, or yoga, and then a craft to go with that daily theme. On Mondays, 9 to 10, I'm going to have the weekly themes that are listed in front of you, and they are all centered around nature-based topics. Milton's mission to preserve the rural heritage really speaks to me personally and my organization's purpose, which is why it seemed like a good fit for a partnership. The parks in Milton are beautiful and they lend themselves to outdoor education. Thank you for your consideration and your time today, and I look forward to our partnership. And you guys can ask me any questions. We can look at my website so you can have a visual if you would like to do that.
Tom, I don't have the mouse. Can you click the link at the bottom of that?
Do you have like a target size for these classes? Do you cap them at a certain number? What do you?
Anything more than 20 gets a little overwhelming if it's not, because it's ages 3 to 5. But I don't turn away children. So if everybody's really excited and I overplan, I tend to overplan with everything, overcook, overplan. So I won't turn children away. You know, siblings are always invited to do so too. It's really, the lessons that I do are engaging and they all want to be a part of it. So I'll give you an example. The first one that's listed is the Better Belief It. Also, I'm pretty punny. I don't know. So I always try to make it fun and engaging for kiddos. And anytime you laugh, it's going to be more fun. So we'll find leaves that are on the property ready to go. And I'll just have crayons and paper and watercolor. And then we'll talk about why leaves change color in the fall. And I differentiate it with all the kiddos. So I would tell a 3-year-old something different than I would tell a 5-year-old, you know? Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Navigate your website.
So this is the website, and it shows kind of what we do. So this program is the LEAF program that I'm presenting today. It's outdoor programming. So I go into schools or into parks and do my pop-up programming. I love chickens. I also love butterflies, which is what you see. That's what I'm dressed like today. But my goal would be, if this goes well, then in the spring, hopefully I can bring chickens into the park and do chicken education, and we'll just grow it. We'll see.
Is this going to be at one park? Are we going to
Yes.
move it around?
So we want to pilot it in Bell
Okay.
because it has the most amenities right now, especially for that young age group.
Yep.
You need bathrooms and then you need them close, right? Shelter. We do have a room in there in case we have inclement weather. But you could expand. You could take field trips.
Nice.
It
And
has
this
the
would just-
potential to grow.
Excellent. This would just go through the city's registration.
Mhm. Yes, the answer is yes to that. Yeah, just like all of our, most of our other partnerships that Matthew has, we would take the registration, we would assist with the marketing and communication. Yeah, and Cassie would be our provider.
I like it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great way to get kids out there and doing some things and learning some stuff, being active and learning as well. So
Agree. Sounds great.
you need a motion to move forward, or is that? So take a motion to move forward with the Tree of Learning and the LEAF program.
Second.
Did the first motion.
Oh, need the first
Oh.
person. You do it.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the LEAF program.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so
Thank you,
moved.
guys.
Thank
so
you,
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on to committee reports. Hopewell Baseball. Does staff have a report on baseball?
We're now rather deep into the season, it feels already. Overall, it's been a great start to the season. Fields are in pretty good shape. I haven't seen final registration numbers yet, but it was looking like it was in the high 8s this season. And yeah, all communication with Juan has just been, general small housekeeping things, no major issues that we've seen. So it's been a good start.
Good. Lacrosse? Allison, anything? Joey?
I mean, we're up and running. I think we've had 2 weekends of games. So far, so good. Again, we're just kind of crammed in, though. Even the girls' youth program, we've got 6 or 7 teams on one field at Northwestern. So it's working, but it's not ideal. So we need more field space as soon as humanly possible. But other than that, it's going well. It's going well.
Yeah, on the boys' side, everything is going well. Their season is, I guess 3 weeks into games. So there's been no questions, no issues there.
Good.
So going well. Stephanie on AFL?
Yep, it's football season. I have not touched base with Vaughn, but I'm sure he is knee deep in everything, so I'll follow up with him next month.
Excellent. And for basketball, things are going well. Registration for the winter is up and going well. I did talk to Kim, I guess it was 10 days ago or so. No issues that he had at that point. Things were going well. Registrations were coming in pretty solid. So,
Last I talked to him, it was the same.
Yeah.
I talked to him a couple days after the registration opened. He said there were already a decent amount of registrations that had come in. So
Yep.
good.
so,
Okay.
as usual, I think he anticipates it selling out and then the fun begins.
Good deal.
Staff for swim, tennis.
Yeah, no report as far as swim. And tennis, I don't really have an update other than, Terry's program is continuing success at the Milton Tennis Center.
Excellent. And then arts and adult programming, anything?
Yeah, really, I don't really have too much reports. I will say we had it was a Love Go-Go class this past Saturday afternoon. We had over 28 people that attended that. And that's pretty much all I have,
Good.
like for arts right now.
Did you say the yoga was at the Penguin Yoga?
Correct, yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome.
That's kicked off already?
Yeah, so their programs, it's only like a 1 day like event. So so for example, like we had one in May. It had the
Sloth.
yeah, the sloth. Yeah, sorry. Like it had the sloth, and then this past Saturday, like it had it had a penguin and also had some other animals there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Excellent. Summer camp, I assume we're good there.
No reports.
No report.
Excellent.
I have a question in regards to the programming. Just advice from staff for our coaches to handle when people are on fields that they're coming into. Sometimes could be people on the field, maybe they're staying longer or they're getting off or whatever, but it's early in the season for lacrosse. And, at some point you get to know what field you're on and they're coming or not coming, but advice is for coaches to just kind of say, hey, we have this spot, you're over there, or
Teams in the wrong place.
teams in the wrong places. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or just like community members that are out in the fields that shouldn't be. That happened last night when they were starting practice.
And they don't want to leave.
Well, I mean, sometimes people aren't willing to have that uncomfortable conversation.
I understand.
Well, the reason, because one, you might have young people coaching, and this might be an early season thing right now.
It's okay. We're actually going to be able to address this probably later in our agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent. No unfinished business. So we'll move on to 8B, the revisions to the heat policy, which were sent via email.
Yes.
You want to just hit us on that?
Sure. We did approve last year an activity heat index policy for, the safety of the youth and adults for that matter, that are participating in our outdoor recreation programming. And as staff kind of went through this summer, we realized that maybe we needed to make some tweaks and revisions to it to better fit our devices that we use. So we kind of gathered information in the last revision, the first draft of it. And with our wet bulb thermometer, we've realized that the readings aren't the same at all. And it didn't really apply to the numbers for temperatures that we had put into our previous policy or to the existing policy we have now. And so, we were getting readings on days where it felt like 110 on the field, and the wet bulb temperature was 87 or 88 because the humidity wasn't high enough to make the wet bulb temperature high. So I jumped back and I started researching. I called a couple other, municipalities, counties, and GHSA. I did some research there and thought it was more appropriate with maybe sticking to something closer to what GHSA does for their policies, because they use wet bulb readings as we do. And so that's this policy as drafted here in front of you is exactly the same as what GSA has for theirs. There is the opportunity, and we can even, we've only got 4 here. We can also defer this because I don't think we have to worry about the heat too much more any longer. If we want to defer this to next month and stew on it, that's also a possibility. But if you're comfortable with this, that's also fine. We can take a motion and move forward with this policy. But one example is, and for the record, from staff's perspective, we're okay with the way it is now. I'm just giving some options. If we want to tighten it up and ratchet it up a little bit, we can. We never got a reading above 89.9 at all this summer. From our temperatures at Legacy Park when we went to Legacy, we would do our temperature readings on field 1 at Legacy. So essentially, the only restrictions we would have had to make, except for the 2 days we canceled.
So I was gonna say, those 2 days, was it
Right.
above that?
Right.
Those 2 days, it was above 89.9.
It was hot. The feels like was 117.
Okay, right,
It felt
okay.
like 117.
Okay.
And for the safety of participants, no
was
matter
the
what
right
the wet bulb
call.
temperature was, I canceled.
For sure,
Yes.
absolutely,
yeah.
okay.
I played it safe. Safety was first.
Yeah,
in
no, that was the
scenario.
right call, for sure.
So we can ratchet down, especially this 87 to 89 range. For instance, football can still wear their helmets and shoulder pads. We could maybe say, you can have football practice still and you have to do the required water breaks, but maybe we don't require maybe we say no shoulder pads or no helmet and shoulder pads. I don't know. That's something that we can kick around and discuss here. Because, like I said, it felt like 110 and we were getting readings at 87, 88 degrees at wet bulb. So it's something to think about. This is what GHSA uses. I am comfortable with this, but I just wanted to throw some other options out there to discuss as a board.
I think this is rather similar to Forsyth County as well. Do you know that?
Forsyth County uses the exact same.
Yeah, okay,
They
that's what I
use
thought.
GHSA
Okay,
word for word.
got it.
So question, are these temperatures different, grass and turf? Obviously, the turf is hotter.
Yes.
Okay, so,
We take a reading we take a reading on grass and we take a reading on turf.
you know, something to consider is we could have a week of completely too hot. We definitely want to figure out a way to have an option for them to get on grass. Is there a way to, is there some other process where you can shorten practices? Or is it still just too dangerous to be out there?
There, in one of these levels, you reduce practice times.
Okay,
Yeah, and 90 to
90 to
92,
Right.
you're restricted to an hour max.
okay. I mean,
But you could, but any program has that ability if they want to shorten practices and get everybody onto okay, we're going to
Yeah.
condense it so that everyone can get onto a field. And instead of everyone practicing for an hour and a half, everyone practices for an hour. And then you shorten the time that makes more slots available.
Yeah.
Do
That can be
these
done.
policies pertain to the school teams as well?
They would,
Right, because, okay.
well,
but we don't.
yes. There's ironically, mostly for heat, cold seems to be, you can get pretty cold and they'll still make you practice. Because we dealt with that last year with Cambridge.
Yeah, but there's rules around that.
Yeah.
And that was,
But it was pretty cold and I was like, wow, we're not gonna really go out there. And if it didn't go down a little bit more, we ended up the whole area canceled, but,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm willing to hear if you've got to present anything more to everyone here next meeting, but definitely siding on safety is for sure the easiest thing to decide. So at least for me.
I know we did the cold. Didn't we just adopt GHSA rules at that point
For cold.
for cold?
No, the board, I don't think I brought that to,
I thought we did a couple years ago,
might have been several years ago, yeah.
that we brought, and we essentially adopted this GHSA rules for, when fields are closed because of the cold. So I would say for consistency, to stay the same on the heat, we would do that as well, right? Would be my take, because I'm pretty sure, I thought, maybe I'm wrong. Thought at one point we adopted the GHSA rules for temperatures on what that looks like.
I think this looks good. I think it makes sense to align with that. And again, if it needs to be tweaked down the road, fine, but I think this is a good.
And as I mentioned to Joey, we also bring in common sense into this
Yeah.
formula too, as if we see in the hourly forecast, maybe we're above 90 and we need to cancel or adjust things, but we see in the hourly forecast, we're looking at a 10-degree drop by 7 o'clock. We can make those adjustments, say by 7 o'clock, either everything's back on, or we can, anything before 7's canceled. We can make those on the fly adjustments so that,
Right.
People aren't unnecessarily being.
A couple years ago during lacrosse, Allison, you probably remember, summer tournaments were mandatory 2 water breaks. They shortened games. And even though the temperature was actually under what you would do to call it or to postpone, they did it anyway. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah, our summer soccer tournament that my kids were in, both of them, they had mandatory water breaks, and even the 8 a.m. game when it was, 78, 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It was warm, but they did the water break.
Yeah.
And it felt fine out there.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
So if everyone's okay with it, take a motion to approve the new activity heat index policy as amended by staff.
I'll go ahead and move to approve the activity heat index policy presented.
All right. A motion by Allison, a second.
Second.
Second by Stephanie, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Discussion of the new Adopt a Trail program.
That's me again. Welcome back. All right, so over the last few months, we've been working on an Adopt a Trail program similar to Adopt a Road. Can't remember if last month I pitched that program to. Okay, so it's new. I've been speaking to the Trails Committee a lot about it. So essentially, we've laid out, you should have all the documents in front of you. In your packet, maybe? Is that true?
I think
No?
it's just a link.
Okay,
There's a link to them all.
there's just a link to them?
Yeah, on the
Okay, well,
agenda.
I will talk through them. You'll
All
see them
right.
live on the website next month. But all of our trails and all of the parks that we have right now are up for adoption for a group, a team, a organization to sponsor. They'll have quarterly, what we're calling trail inspections. So of course, we love that you want to go through and do trash cleanup or debris, whatever you find out there. But it's also really critical that we're notating changes that we see along the trail. Might be dead, dying, damaged trees. It could be fences that need repair, possibly benches or bridges that have infrastructure damage. We're not asking anyone to be an engineer, an expert. This is really just if you step on it and it doesn't feel right, let's notate that. I've put together an entire orientation packet. So you have the option of meeting me at the trailhead and we can walk through it, or you can, if you're a regular on that trail, which I assume some regulars will pick their trail up, they can just kind of look through what the expectations are. And then there's a reporting sheet. So when you finish your trail inspection, you'll send that report to staff. That way we can let Triscapes or some of our other contractors know we have some things that need to be repaired. So I think this will really support, I know that this will really support me in the efforts of making sure our trails stay nice, stay clean, doing beautification projects. Also, it allows the community to engage in their own parks in a really unique fashion. So there is a trail around Bell. And I would love one of our athletic teams to adopt it or one of the organizations to sponsor it. Costs nothing but your time. Um,
Because they'll be able
Cool.
to see.
Sweet. I guess I get to show you some of this stuff. But yeah, so I'm coming to you guys particularly. Oh, yeah. So this is the orientation right here, which just goes through what the expectation should be. So what my role will be and what your role as a sponsor would be. My role is to follow up on all of your concerns that you have, as well as hold you accountable and hold our contractors accountable. Also picking up the trash bags at the end of the trail. And then I will be managing all of the sponsor relationships. Once you've completed 2 trail inspections, your group's name will go up on that trail. We haven't really finalized what the signage will look like. We're in a rebranding phase. We're about to blaze all the trails out there, so we have options. Obviously, we talk about safety, what you can do, and what we would ask that you not do out there for safety reasons. So we don't want chainsaws. We do not want heavy equipment out on the trails. People will. They'll be very excited. But there are some small infrastructure things that you can manage on your own, like trimming back some of the branches that you might see or some of the weeds along the trail. And then there's photos, so you know what to look for. Some of these photos come from our actual parks. This is Lackey. This is Bethwell. Yeah. And then just kind of notating, you're going to see this stuff. It's real. It'll be on your trail, and you have the choice to either mitigate it or,
Let's hope you don't get a picture of weeds.
yeah, I might.
Yeah.
I hope they take care of them.
Yeah.
That's the goal. The different types of fencing that we have around the city and what you might be looking for, where to put the trash in the end. And then we don't ask that you be an engineer, but we do ask that if you see a bridge that looks like this, that you make some notes.
Where is that?
Picture below is not a Milton bridge.
Okay. That's embarrassing.
No. Yeah, and then I think some of the biggest education in this will be about trail design, actually. So when do you know if your trail is starting to erode, will become problematic? So learning about what is a rut, how do they get created, how does water flow across the trail? Some people might really geek out on that. Some others might just say, cool, we made our trail look really nice and we think there's a problem. Can you look at it? And then eventually, hopefully by the end of November, that's my target set. All of our trails will be marked with diamonds and labeled so that you know exactly where you are at any point 1 marker, right? And then for the future, we do citywide service days. So that's where we're encouraging people, if they want to do some of the bigger projects, be a part of our chainsaw crew where you get to feel really powerful on a Saturday. You should come out for one of those. This is not that kind of program. So there's an application process. I use that term lightly. It's really just to kind of have people who are interested put some information down and find out, do you realize the trail of which you're signing up for? So on the application,
On
which
the top tab on the left, or there's
Here?
the Parks and Rec Advisory, yeah, that one. There's all your tabs.
Oh, sweet. So the application has all of the trails on it with the mileage. It doesn't necessarily say how difficult that trail is. So that'll be part of the vetting process when you write your trail name down. Like, are you aware this is a rustic trail? Are you aware there's not a bathroom? So if you have a group of 6-year-olds and want to adopt a trail, let's pick one that has a bathroom. And then also part of the vetting process will be, can you commit to the 4 inspections? Otherwise, I think having the community involved in some of our sponsored partnered groups will be a really great opportunity for us to stay engaged.
So once a trail has been claimed, how long will that trail then stay under said group or
Yeah.
team?
I mean, as long as they want it, but these are year-long commitments.
Okay, perfect. So
So every year we'll reevaluate with them.
perfect. Okay.
Do you want to keep it?
Okay.
Hopefully, yes.
Right. Exactly. That's good.
Yeah. So that will go live on the website. I'm working with communications tomorrow to figure out our web pages where it's going to go. How do we want to promote this? I've encouraged the equestrian committee to get some of our local horse farms, equestrian barns to adopt some of the trails in Birmingham. I know that there are avid Providence warriors that love to text me all the stuff they see. I'm like, hey, you're already doing the work. Let's formalize it. But I think Bell's a good opportunity for our athletic programs. So, yeah. Any questions about Adopt a Trail?
No, I think that's great.
Sweet. Thank you, guys.
I don't think we needed to do anything there. Discussion on non-athletic recreation community survey.
Bouncing that thing around today.
Lots of different presentations today. Ready?
Let's see. All right. Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm presenting here today to have a survey sent out to the residents of Milton, talking to our providers and just talking to people in the community. Like, I've experienced people like, oh, I would love to do this dance class, but I can't do Thursdays. So this is a kind of a good way to explore if there's potentially another day we could do like a program, or also offer another program that we don't even have. So at the end, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know. But yeah, so let's begin. So pretty much this is the start of the survey. So pretty much from the beginning, we'll just kind of say, because obviously we do have programs where their programs are for adults and also for children. So in the beginning, we will make sure if they're filling out like for them or for their child. And if they are doing it like for their kids or child, just kind of give information if it's for certain ages. So we got it right there. Next question. So I actually did some research throughout like Alpharetta, Roswell, also Cherokee County of programs that they do offer. And these are ones that we don't offer right now. Just trying to get some more information to see if maybe, so let's just say if there was like a whole dance class, like for adults, if after this survey, if it showed that potentially we might have people that might be interested in doing dance class, maybe we could reach out and what I can do is reach out to the community or people around to see if we can find a person to do dance classes for us. So yes, so obviously in the bottom as well, if there's anything that's not listed, so if there's something that's not on, that list, a person can actually kind of fill it out and kind of go from there.
So question on that.
Yes, sir.
Do we have the facilities to do, I look like strength training? Like, even if we had a lot of people say yes to that, do we have a place where we could do some sort of strength training?
Well, yeah.
Or-
So we are offering, as right now, we're offering like the boot camp class. So that class hasn't made yet.
Yep.
But we actually have that on the back lawn. So we can so my thing for a strength like small weights.
Yeah.
We can either use a turf field. We can use the back lawn that's over by the Milton Community Center. Also Broadwell potentially. So yeah, so it's more like we have the space. It's just more of trying to figure out the best location, I guess, for it. But yeah, but that was a really good question. But yeah, but I feel like we do have the turf fields that we can use, like for strength training class. Like, so like, I can understand if it was like heavyweights. No.
Yeah, got
But
it.
for lighter weights, yes.
Good.
All right. And the next question. So this is more of for the classes or the programs that we don't have of certain days that potentially you might be interested, and also the times as well too. So we have that. Also, I added in there the facilities that we have. So it's more of which location is most convenient for you. So obviously, we do have most of our classes take place over at the Milton Community Center, but we might have people over here that, especially if they have kids, they can't go over there after school. So potentially maybe hold classes over here maybe. So we have that question.
Is Bethelview, separate topic, is that back to normal now that the fire's?
But fire is out. The only thing we're waiting on is the carport that was covering the fire vehicle there. It's still on the property and it's blocking our two handicap spots. But outside of that, it's cleaned out.
It's cleaned out, and I knew the new station was open. I just didn't know if we were, that was back to full use for us.
It's very soon going to be rentable again, back on the website and all that.
Good.
All right. And then also with the survey, we have our programs that we offer now, and more of to figure out, so like I said earlier, is to figure out if potentially certain classes might work at certain times or certain days. Because for example, like for Tai Chi has always been same time every Monday morning. So potentially we might offer a class on Monday nights, potentially, because there was one comment on the social media page on City of Milton that this person wished they had fitness classes, like especially for the adults who work.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll get some information on that for our programs that we have currently. And then these are the fine art programs that we have. So the art classes, dance classes that we have kids. Also, we have the classes for the photography classes as well too. Just kind of same thing. Just trying to gather more information to see if maybe another day might work. All right. Do you have any questions?
Do we just?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
This just came to my mind and I don't know, like, do we overlap our classes? Like the photography class with our events, like the touch a truck, that type of thing? I mean, do we try to encourage that so that they're there to take photos and do that type of thing as part of their?
Oh, I see. Cool idea.
We have had them at our events. Not every single one, but we have had Photo Creative. They were there at Christmas and Crabapple, and they did our Santa photos and everything else. So not every event they're there, but we have had them at some.
Just would be a good way for across the board, mixing them together.
Yeah, we talked about also, and I don't know if it ever landed, but we had a discussion about maybe doing a sports photography class and then doing it during during a
Great idea.
practice at Bell, and you can get parents that are already at the park to sign up while their kids practicing. They can.
Yep. Come on the weekend. There'll be plenty of parents with their cameras.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're not sure what what to do here, we can show you. Yeah. I have a question in regards to surveys in general. Do we have a target number we look for to put value to these? So you put a survey out, and how many numbers are we looking to take the survey where it has value? Or is there not one?
That's a good question. And it's hard to tell because different surveys get different results. It depends on the subject. There might be a survey where if we get, how about this? This is a good way to put it. If we get 10% return on our program provider satisfaction surveys at the end of a season,
Right.
that's pretty solid if you get 10%. When you blast the whole community, it's really hard to tell. A lot might not have interest, so they don't fill it out. If we get a couple hundred, that's probably about the bottom of a solid number, probably. But we'll take anything we're really just information gathering here. We're not looking for anything statistically valid. But if we see if we get 100 back, it's less than ideal. But if we get a trend in those 100, that's 100 people that are showing interest in one thing.
Right.
So we could use that.
Okay.
All right.
Very
Well,
good.
and then I will say,
When is the survey going out? Sorry.
well, yeah, so obviously it can go out in the next 2 weeks or so. Also the game plan that we're thinking is to do like a mass email blast, also to have like a QR code at the parks and facilities and just say, hey, like this is a good way to be heard if there's something if there's a program that we don't offer that you want. So yeah. So that's
Looks
Very
good.
good.
yes, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Staff reports, community outreach update.
Hello, everyone. Greetings. I will try and be brief, but there's a lot to update you, especially with us moving into the fall and winter season. It's pretty jam-packed full. So first, we had our first ever touch truck event almost 2 weeks ago now. I feel like to say it was a success is a huge understatement. I think we had around 4,000 people there. We shut down almost every parking lot at Cambridge, the office complex. People started parking at Kingsridge. It was gigantic. We had about $3,500 worth of sponsorship money across 9 different sponsors. So it was a big success. So us having it is great. We got phenomenal feedback from both our sponsors. We had some program providers out there as well. So it will definitely become an annual city event.
That
So
is
the
Oh, that's
meeting-
awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
My son and wife volunteered there through YMSL, and thought it was great. So they were, said it was well organized, and we're very impressed.
Thank you. Very, very
So-
excited.
Social media pictures were awesome.
Oh yeah, they were very cute. That's one of the best parts about the touch truck event is it is a social
They're so
media
cute.
frenzy.
Yeah.
It's a photograph at every
Yeah.
single moment. Kids on trucks, kids in moving vehicles. So it'll be bigger and even better next year. We have lots of plans. So moving into our fall and winter, Sunday, October 22nd is our Carvin and Crabapple event. We're actually going to combine with police department every year normally does a trunk or treat event over at their facility. But we're going to combine it and use Alpharetta Senior Center as the trunk or treat in conjunction with Carvin and Crabapple. And we're also opening it up to our program providers as well. I'm trying to flip it and turn it into more of like a kids fall festival with carnival games and just more interactive elements besides just coming to carve a pumpkin. So it should be a lot of things. And we've had a few program providers. I think right now we have about 4 or 5 who are going to come out and host a game and promote their events and everything.
That's October the 22nd?
Yes, Sunday, October 22nd at Broadwell Pavilion from 2 to 5 p.m. We also have a giant inflatable corn maze, which might be my favorite part of the entire event. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's really cool. So then in November, on Thursday, November 9th, we have our volunteer appreciation dinner. We didn't host it in 2022, so we're going to make sure we bring it back to 2023 to just thank our volunteers. And those invitations should be going out beginning of October, mid-October. We're going to have our Veterans Breakfast again on actual Veterans Day. So Saturday, November 11th here in Council Chambers. It'll be a nice early morning, 8 a.m. breakfast. Then we roll into our Christmas and Crabapple event on Saturday, December 2nd. Again, at Broadwell Pavilion, it'll be 2 to 6 in conjunction with our tree lighting as well. And then the following Saturday, December 9th, we have Pancakes with Santa. So it is a busy season in community outreach. We are looking into doing a sponsorship packet for all of our 2024 events. Not all of them, but the majority of them. Going ahead and getting those out to businesses and people who want to participate so they can plan ahead in their fiscal year.
and you'll see because it should be coming out next month. We're looking to add a new event next year outside of Touch a Truck. So we're going to do, it kind of started as a daddy-daughter dance or a mother-son dance. And after speaking with people in the Parks and Rec community, they host a sweetheart dance instead. So we're not, so mother-son, grandparent, really making sure it's a fully inclusive event. So we're going to do a Sweetheart Spring Fling in April. And we haven't nailed down details yet, but we're looking at doing it as a ticketed fundraiser, potentially for Camp Joyful Souls. So very big, very exciting. I think the community is going to love it. So we're very excited. And I think that's all the updates I have for you. If you have any questions, let me know.
Oh, that's great. And I like the signs out at Bell that have all of it. The little sandwich board there that has all of the
Oh, good.
upcoming events.
Perfect. Trying to do better about promoting the next upcoming events at previous events.
Yep.
So
So
really
yeah, it's
building
good
up
to
that
have that out
advertising.
at Bell
Thank you.
Walkway. Junior Ranger program.
That's me again.
You're all over the map today. That whole thing.
It's actually just the Jen person
like-
advisor board.
6 months in, we're rolling now. Okay, so Junior Rangers, it is slow and steady, folks, but we're making some movement. I'm not sure what your last report was because it was before my time about Junior Rangers. Are you
I
familiar
think
with
we've
this
seen the
program?
whole program outline, right? The booklet, what they do.
Okay. So good. Then I'll present it as new. We decided between Emily Groth and I, who's now over in Public Works, we're working in conjunction to have a programming aspect to the guide. So it's fun and you can navigate it in the parks, but also has an environmental education side to it. So together we're trying to hit all of the water, trees, flora, fauna, wildlife that you might see and rope that into each and every one of our unique parks. It'll be quite a hefty book, but anyone should be able to navigate it. Our target age is 2nd grade to 7th grade, right? So the littles, we might do a preschool version of it in the future. We could definitely do an older version. I don't think they'll be as much interested in a book as more as programming.
Mhm.
You know, that's where they're like, take me climbing, Jen. Let's go rapid. You know,
Yep.
I think that would be more fun for that age group. But this will be self-guided. There will be an at-home piece as well, so you can do some things in your own yard. But yeah, so we're just plugging the activities in. We'll scrub it, probably pilot it with a couple groups, and then do the beautification with Lori to make sure it's like graphically appealing. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the national park books or the state park books.
Mhm.
They're really cool. It gives the kids something exciting. And then in the end, they'll get a proclamation from council and the mayor with their little badge, and they'll be awarded Milton's first Junior Rangers. I think that'll be super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're looking at some swag. We're not sure if we want to do a hat. Do we want to do like a scarf or like one of those bandanas? But something that lets everybody know that you did some cool stuff in our parks.
Very good.
So once we kind of have it looking in a way that I think is digestible for you, then we'll show you what we've got.
There.
Sounds good.
You can give a horse away.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The horses here are very expensive.
I would like to motion.
Get the Junior Ranger saddle.
Ooh.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. City Parks project update.
So I really only, racking my brain, I think I've only got one to report, and it's at the pool. The pool's pump house, the storage building that's in the back corner of the pool. When we redid the building and refaced it, the pool's pump house was not included in that contract. And I'm happy to report that it is now matching the building. So it's board and batten white, and everything looks the same now. And as part of that project, we also had the contractor install some interior walls inside the building to store the chlorine and acid in a separate room that has its own ventilation system away from everything else. I mean, the electrical panels in there, all the pool's pump components are all in there, the pool motor's in there. And chlorine is a very destructive chemical. The vapors from it it will rust steel. It'll start rusting in a matter of a month. You'll start seeing rust showing up on things. So even like the insides of the electrical sockets, they're all kind of got buildup of various different metals from the chlorine. So we separated the barrels of chlorine. We're working on getting them all in there. We have a couple of barrels that are completely full. So we're trying to drain them down a little bit so we can drag them into that room. And then it'll be a separate space for the destructive chemicals to be kind of stored. And that should help preserve the pool pump motor and the electrical panels and everything else. So thanks to Michaela. She did run with that project. I can't take all credit there. She kind of brought it in for closing. The only thing left is just a little bit of cleanup they got to do, and they're done. So check it out.
Excellent.
Do we have any update on the parking at Legacy?
The last update I just recently received was a rough budget number to plan for, and it's astronomically higher than what we had planned.
Okay.
So we are looking at how we can get it done.
Okay. Any sort of
You talking about
timeline
the
around
paving?
that?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Great.
All right, new part-time athletic assistant.
Thomas, you want me to take this one, or would you like it?
I can start, and you can, if I miss anything, you're welcome to add to it. If you have visited Bell Park recently or been on the website, you've probably noticed, along with the event sandwich board, we are continuing to seek out some members of the community and other folks that are close by to join us as a part-time athletic assistant. We're looking to get more city representation and presence in our parks to help out with anything along the lines of trash pickup, cleanup, work directly with our Triscapes maintenance, help keep our games on schedule, help our practice times and who's supposed to be on the field, who's not supposed to be on the field. So that's what Tom had mentioned earlier, kind of circling back to that point. But yeah, our overall goal is just to have more presence from the city at our parks during the evenings and especially on Saturdays. So I'm proud to say that we have one. We just hired on yesterday. He became official yesterday. So we're going through orientation with him. I think he'll probably be out there this weekend. His name's Jordan. He came through this from Kennesaw State. He's studying sport management, has a lot of experience in youth camps and the YMCA, has a special interest in youth sports. Yeah, we're seeking other individuals as well, but I'm happy to say we've got one so far.
Will they be wearing?
Yes, they will be identified in a Parks and Recreation shirt that says Park Staff on the back, and our shirts are a hunter green color, so you will see those. I'll be sending a note out to all program providers just making everybody aware that we will have somebody there. Typically weekends and some nights as well.
Have you, how many more positions are we trying to fill?
It's really going to be based upon availability. We have budget for just about any day that there's an activity. So if we've got activities at Bell on a Wednesday night, then we've got the budget to staff it. So if we get 4 people that can cover almost every day, then it will be 4. If it takes 6 or 7 to get that coverage, then it's kind of a flowing. I administered a program like this when I was with Alpharetta. I was over the part-time program, and we had a lot more parks that we had to staff. But the pool of employees was anywhere between really like 10 and 20.
Yep.
It just depended on, if you had 2 people that wanted to work 25 hours a week, then that really, you didn't need as many. But if you just got, typically it was high school kids or maybe younger college age kids that filled those positions. It's not a difficult job, but it's a very important job. And it really gives us eyes at the park. If one really important scenario is if we have a lightning delay, you know, I know that some of our programs haven't left the field before because the lightning detector goes off. And so having staff there, you know, I'm not there every night.
Yeah.
So having staff there to escort folks, hey, you know, the lightning detector just went off. We'll let you know when you can get back on the field. You know, it's valuable for safety for everybody.
Mhm.
And so, you know, we identified this as a hole in our recreation
Yeah.
programming opportunities, and we're jumping on it. So we've had a hard time scooping up applications, and
You done any outreach to like retirees? Somebody has a part-time job, you know, hey, I'll go walk around the park.
yeah, I
and
mentioned
do
that we have
some-
a recruitment meeting every Thursday morning, and I mentioned that in the meeting. I said, I'll take someone that's retired and just looking
Just
to
get out of
be
the
busy.
house for a few hours.
Yeah, just be
and-
busy, you know.
Yeah.
and, you know, even if it's, hey, you know, there's weeds over here, let us know so that we, you know,
Yeah.
you know, I do my walkthroughs at the park every week or two, but you know, even I don't see everything. So
Yep.
mhm. Retiree would be great.
Yeah. Any other business?
Any other business from the board?
Did I have anyone?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say is there a way that we as a board can present something to council about the importance of supporting the addition of another sports complex? Is there anything, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's off the record, I don't know, but how we go about, you know, supporting it. And we obviously know, I love that we're sending out this survey to see what the community members would like to include and add. My only concern is that we already are so limited with field space and don't have enough. So if the thought process is, you know, we could maybe do some of this stuff on some of those fields, then my concern is how are we going to do that? Like we don't have the space. We already are, you know, 6, 7 teams on one field and trying to make it work the way it is currently. So I'm not really sure what we need to do, but just to show council that we're in support of it and that we in fact need more field space for our community
And
Noted.
pickleball.
and pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yes, and pickleball.
Noted. Yeah. I can follow up with the board on that.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
If there's no other business, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second by Stephanie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Thank you.